Welcome to the village, in the Game Farming Simulator 22, the village where I started my business. At the same time, this will be the most challenging mode, in which I will have to develop and build a huge agro complex in this village. I will start with a tiny starting capital, meaning I have almost no money. Well, as you might have guessed, the equipment leaves much to be desired. It's old, rotten, dating back to Soviet times. In general, we'll get to the base soon and see everything for ourselves. In the meantime, feel free to get acquainted. The village of Koshmak. At a glance, about 500 people live here, working in the fields. There are no large enterprises here either. That means everything will have to be built from scratch. So friends, grab some chips and don't forget to prepare your villa with shovels. In order to clear the mess that this village is stuck in, don't forget to like as well. There will be plenty of interesting moments to watch until the end. So let's get started on our development. The village is calling. I have been driving for several hours, and it seems that the point on the map has shifted, showing that there are only about 700 meters left to the destination. I am carrying 75,000 euros with me. By the way, that is all I have right now. There were some savings left, but unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I invested them in a couple of plots in this village. I bought them, as they say, sight unseen at an auction. They were selling some abandoned base for a pittance. It has been sitting here unused for several years. It seems that some equipment is still left there. So now, let's go and see what is actually there. I don't even rule out the fact that everything has already been stolen. By the way, my car is not presentable either. But I hope to earn something this season, and of course replace it. Speaking of which, there's the base. It is immediately evident that the buildings are from the Soviet era, but they are in fairly good condition. There is also a cobblestone road here. This means that my future equipment won't get stuck in the mud. On the map, it looks something like this. The tractor brigade is in the center. A small plot in the forest. I don't know what's there. And here is the field from above. I don't have a house at home. We'll go buy one in the village a little later. I hope something will be for sale. Well, by the way, right in front of us is the very fenced entrance to this base. Very interesting. Let's park right here. I can already see that there is some equipment there, but the base itself is overgrown with weeds, bushes, and trees. It is clear that no one has taken care of it. But the main thing is to find out what kind of equipment is inside. I removed the fence, let's drive in and take a look. So, what do we have here? Some birch trees are growing. There are puddles in some places on the territory. Although I was hoping that the entire area would be paved. So it seems there is an old lawnmower. No, that's a Zeal. Yes, an old Zeal, friends. It's sitting in a pit, but apparently it's in some unfortunate condition. Most likely it will go to scrap. However, I think there is some accumulation of equipment further ahead. But before we take a look at it, I want to show you something. Recently, you've been frequently commenting on where to download Farming Simulator, SnowRunner, and other cool games, so I have a worthy answer for you. Grey Scoopicot. After all, this is more than just an opportunity to top up your balance. It is a whole gaming ecosystem. Here, the fees are the lowest on the market, and of course, it fully replicates all the discounts from Steam. They emphasize honesty, community development, and also organize tournaments and offer a loyalty system. Copicot is truly friends, simply, quickly, and most importantly, safely. This service does not request passwords or other data from your account. Only the login that needs to be replenished. Your account remains secure. Just enter the required amount here. By the way, both the Kazakh tenge and dollars are available. The cherry on top is the promo code that I asked for you, friends. So here we write Genic, click apply and get a 2% discount. Not bad. Agree. But that's not all. Here we choose to pay either by card or with a copy coin, which you can also accumulate. After that, we proceed to payment. By switching to the unavailable in the Russian Federation tab, users from Russia will be able to purchase a game that is physically impossible to buy in the RU region, so that's how it is. The link is, as always, in the description, and now we move on. There are also some mountains of scrap metal here. I believe we can make a little money from them, but that will be later. Here I see some kind of planter, and that's a good plus because if it works, we probably won't have to buy a new one. And the lawn, but apparently they broke the windows. They ripped out the wiring, most likely to sell the copper. And I don't know how it hasn't been taken away from here yet, but it's still standing, friends. It's also scrap metal. Walking a bit further, I discover a workshop in pretty good condition. Here, it will be possible to repair equipment, and there are even some tools. As I walk a little further, I even discover an old water tower. Those who remember know that there used to be many of these during the USSR. Now, I am going to inspect the main part of the equipment. There is a lot of equipment lying here in the bushes. There are some old disc harrows, and even a mower. By the way, this is the first time I've seen one like this. An old PTS trailer. God, how much has it seen? And the most interesting thing is 3 tractors under the shed. Let's go take a look at what is here. First of all, I got into the UMZ tractor. By the way, it is in pretty good condition. There is even fuel here, and it seems that he will still serve us a little longer, friends, because he has started up and even moved from his spot. That's a good plus. So let's put it back in its place for now. I will need it again anyway. Now let's move on to the neighboring tractor. It's an old worn-out T150K. It even has the number 3 on the side. It didn't start on the first try, of course, but it did start. I would even venture to suggest that this base was guarded, because if it hadn't been, all this equipment would have been long stolen. The last tractor started up with just a half turn of the key. This is the Tuzik T25. Yes, it's in perfect condition, you see. So let's right now take this tractor and connect it to the Colima trailer and pull it out from these bushes. We should put it somewhere more or less normal and accessible. In any case, we will tidy things up here. But that will be a bit later. Right now, I have to jump into the car and continue exploring my new possessions. Yes, surviving will not be easy with such a start. I still don't know what is growing in the field. By the way, there is also an additional building here. It seems to be a huge hangar where I will be able to store equipment in the future. But that's for later. Right now, let's head to the rest first and see what the area is like. Although judging by the map, it seems quite small. I also think I saw some buildings there. We need to explore everything there, after which we will head to the field. I hope some wheat or corn is already growing there. Well, if not, it will certainly be tough. But it's okay. I've gotten out of worse situations. So, I'm off to the forest now. Meanwhile, I am already on site. Here, in the middle of an oak grove, there is some kind of forest base. There is also a small firewood production. I think it will definitely come in handy for us in the future. Moreover, if there is some free time, we can earn a little bit here. Plus, there is some small hangar available. I think we can store the finished pallets with firewood here. Well, that's quite good. Now let's jump in the car and head to the next point. We need to scout how things are with the field. Is anything growing there or not? After that, we will head to the village. We still need to find and purchase a house. Of course, I already found out in advance. And there are a couple of decent houses for sale here. In general, let's go through everything step by step, friends. Well, now let's head to the field. By the way, here it is on the right. Let's stop somewhere around here and take a look around. By the way, cannula is growing in the field, and it is in pretty good condition. It's clear that it was taken care of before I purchased this plot. We have sorted out the field, and now the main task is to get into the Colima and head to the village. There are several plots with houses for sale in the village, and our main task, friends, is to find the cheapest one, because my finances are very limited. After all, don't forget that I still need to purchase a lot of equipment and build a few things. In general, there is still a lot to do, and on top of that, I had planned to start earning this month, but we will definitely get to that. Right now, while we are talking here, I have already driven into the village, and right in front of you is the first plot that is for sale. So let's go in and see what is available here. At first glance, everything looked pretty good. There are both little houses and sheds, as well as a yard. But when I saw this hill, the desire to acquire this plot disappeared on its own. So I had to get into the car and drive further into the village. After all, there are still a couple of houses there. But this one unfortunately didn't work out. Well, you understand, God forbid, to drive the Tuzik T25 there at night. Well, I think you can imagine how all this might end, right? My wanderings around the village continued slowly. And here, at the local monument, I was told where another decent house is located. It is said to be quite inexpensive, so let's go there, friends. Meanwhile, I am already approaching. This road leads to the field, and on the left, a huge field begins. Well, to the right is the edge of the village, and literally 50 meters away is this plot. He stands right by the field. Let's say it's a secluded little hut, but that's fine. The main thing for me is that I can live here comfortably and have a vegetable garden, and that's basically it. So let's go inside right now and take a look around. I immediately see a huge pile of scrap metal. There is a small vegetable garden in the back. It has been plowed. This year, we won't take anything from here. That's fine. The garden is decent. I think in the future we will plant either potatoes or sugar beets here. In general, time will tell. Nearby, there seems to be some kind of compost pit. Let's go into the yard and take a look. There is some kind of shed, an old hut. I think if we rise up, friends, we will definitely build a new one here. Further back was the backyard, a small garden, with a couple of old trees. That was basically it, along with a leaning old fence. Yes, of course, if only you knew how much work awaits me here if I buy it right now, but there's really no other option. I understand that there are no other options, so I will take this house for 16,591 euros. I will have to redo almost everything here, but for the time being, as they say, this will do. I am left with a ridiculously small amount. 58,000. So, without wasting a second, I jump into my UMZ. I set off to the base, which was located 5 kilometers away from here. I need the money right now because the utility charges will be deducted from me the next day, and now there's also the lighting for the huge tractor brigade as well as the house. So, I had to start working immediately. And now the most interesting part begins. As you can see, I am already on site, my friends. This means that a huge amount of work is about to start. Well, let's take a look around first to see what we have here. And this mower that is standing here will most likely come in handy for us right now, friends. So let's head over to the tractors. And I think we will probably take the UMZ, a type of tractor, and go out to the field. To start with, I think we need to tidy up the area a bit. We should take these weeds using a scythe and cut the grass around the perimeter of our field. After all, as you just saw, there is quite a lot of it there. This grass will most likely be processed into silage in the future. There's definitely something wrong with the transmission. It seems to be sticking or something. It seems that the gear engages, but only on the 5th attempt. And God forbid, this will lead to a breakdown in the future, although I'll tell you in advance, it will happen, my friends. Well, let's take everything step by step. So, at the moment, I am turning around and slowly starting to attach the mower. And once all the preparatory processes are behind me, I decide to head out to the field. To the left of the UMZ, you can see an old seed drill. It was delivered to the base just an hour ago. I bought it at a huge discount of 50%. The price was only 9,000. This is for those who will be asking where it came from. Unfortunately, I simply forgot to start the recording at that moment. As a result, the amount in my balance keeps getting lower and lower. And at the moment, it amounts to just a miserable 49,000. So we quickly rush to the field. It's time to start earning something. The continuation of this series will be released as soon as you show good activity. Leave comments, like the posts, and I will promptly release the next episode, friends. And the next series will be much longer than the first. By the way, you can write in the comments right now how you would earn on this map. What would you do first? Well, we will hear from each other soon. See you soon.